What's going on, everybody? Marcus back again here with another video. This time around, I'm going to be commenting on Scripe. Raid leader Echo decided, hey, he's going to come up with a very big list on how to fix WoW. And I wanted to comment on it only because I've always thought about, how to fix WoW, and I'm always interested to hear about what other people say about it. But in this case, he's actually come up with some really good thoughts outside of, the top end raiders. I've always been a critic that top end raiders shouldn't dictate the majority of the game. It's much like Major League Baseball players dictating how Little League should be played, right? So let's go over the list, and I'm going to go as fast as I can with some quick thoughts. I don't want this to be a long, boring video. First off, goals. Rewire our brains to play for fun and not for efficiency. Okay, you expect Blizzard to do that? That's honestly on us, really. I mean, they can make a game that changes, I guess, our mindset, but to rewire our brains to not want to go for the path of least resistance, that's just, I wouldn't say inhumane, but certainly not possible. Reduced benched people. I mean, I get what he's saying about this. He wants, he doesn't want people to not play, which sucks. But unfortunately, you can't do that in a 20-man mythic size. But in a flex size, it's obviously there. And I think that's one thing that players need to realize is, I've talked about this before on stream, is usually people are trying to play content that they're not good enough to play, right? They're not good enough for mythic, but they're too good for heroic. So reduce barrier to entry for raids. Yes. This is, I think, the biggest crux of WoW right now in 2021. Before, in World of Warcraft vanilla, getting into a raid was seen as this ultra luxury experience, because just getting to 60 was hard enough. But I would say that getting people into raids is a good thing, because I always make this comparison. If you want to play PUBG or Fortnite, you just click a button and you're in. If I want to play Battlefield, boom, I click a button and I'm in, and I'm doing the best content. And WoW, it's okay, go ahead and level your tune, go ahead and grind your gear, go ahead and grind your systems, and hopefully maybe in a month or two you might be good enough to do some decent content. But it does take a long time. I wouldn't say 2 months, but definitely a couple of weeks at least. Reduce FOMO. I mean, fear of missing out is what motivates people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you don't want an atmosphere of people thinking, like, if I don't log in on Tuesday, my WoW career is over. What you want them to be is compelled to log in. You're not addicted to WoW, you're compelled to log in. And that's what makes a good game, is when you're compelled to play. I was compelled during Wrath. I was compelled to play every day just to do my Grizzly Hills dailies for gold. It was the only easy way for me to get gold at the time, because I didn't know how to play very well, didn't play the auction house very well. But I knew every single day I needed to log in and do my dailies because I needed gold, and I wasn't upset about it, and there was no FOMO. Not forced to do content, but want to do content. Yes, I agree. Obviously, there's content that people just have to do just to supplement their life. This is a story of life, right? Like, I go to work so I can afford this microphone, afford my computer so I can play these games. Do I really like doing it? No. Am I forced to do it? No. I could be a bum. I could be a homeless bum if I wanted to. There's nothing stopping me from doing that. But definitely make the content more about wanting to do it than being like, okay, do I have, like, Torghast is a great example, right? I thought Torghast was going to be the quintessential feature of Shadowlands. It was going to define Shadowlands, and it became a chore. That's it. They just made the reward system. So he's correct, but I think the players need to realize that they're not necessarily forced to do anything. They whatever obligations they put on themselves. Now, when it comes to things like gold, I mean, if I want to raid, I probably shouldn't need to have to farm thousands of gold every week. So that's one thing I would say. But in general, I'd say he's about right. Reduce incentives to boost and get boosted for gold. Okay, I am not going to go too far deep into boosting, only because it's kind of controversial. The only thing that I'll say about boosting is this. I believe boosting is not good for the game if you're getting some type of performance achievement. Like if you're getting boosted for arena rating or boosted for Mythic Plus rating, that's not good for the game. If you're paying gold to get an AOTC and some gear, I don't see how it's wrong for the game. But it's not against the term of service, so it shouldn't go away. But there definitely should be, you know, the way to reduce incentives to boosting is to make content more accessible. Make it easier for people to get into PvP and enjoy PvP, and make it more balanced, so that way maybe people have a fighting chance instead of just, okay, well, I'm never going to beat the twitchy meta guys on Twitch who have fast fingers and have a million macros and all this kind of stuff. Never going to beat those guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and boost. Don't force people to play the game all day, all the time. Once again, it goes into the forced content argument. I'm not really going to touch this one with a 10-foot pole, because what made WoW great for me back in Wrath, at least, and even into Mists of Pandaria and Warlords, was it was the only game I wanted to play. It really was. And playing all the time is, I wouldn't say a bad thing, but I mean, it's, if you're sucked into the game, you get more invested into the game, you're less likely to quit, and you're more likely to, like me, run a guild, be part of a guild, and make everyone's time good. So, you know, the forcing, in quotation marks, even Scripe knows that people aren't necessarily forced to, but you should. I mean, I think a good WoW player, because of the nature of the game, should be playing the game about 15 hours a week, I'd say. Global stuff, no PTR, hard but huge value. I mean, PTR is good for bugs. Enable all specs, random systems like artifact weapons, Azerite armor should not block you from playing other specs. Yeah, I would say yeah. I mean, yeah. I think the systems need to be more class oriented than spec oriented. Like instead of getting a conduit that does something really awesome for Frost and you don't even fucking play Frost. Global release, I guess. Yeah, I don't see a problem with global release. Remove the WoW token? No. Only because there are just some people out there that just, why give the money to Chinese gold farmers, right? Like, why encourage botting when, and also for people like me, sometimes I need some gold and I just don't have the time, and I don't know people that spend thousands of dollars on tokens. I mean, show me the data that shows people are doing that. I think if you purchase a WoW token once a month, that's okay. I mean, people need the gold. Count wide almost any character progression, quest chains, content unlocks, reputations. Yeah, I mean, quest chains, in terms of like the what do they call it? The war campaign. Yeah, that should be account wide. War campaign should be, yeah. Content unlocks, yeah. Reputations, yeah. I mean, you know, make it account wide. You know, people have so many alts these days that most people have alts so they can do one particular activity again. Eon says, oh, people love to progress and redo it again. No, they don't. They do it because they have to. So I have an alt so I can raid on them. I don't want to do any quest chains on them. I just want to raid on them. Some people have alts so they can PvP on them. Some people have alts so they can run Mythic Plus on them. This is a good change. No item should have proccing sockets tertiaries. If an item can have a socket, it should always have a socket. Yeah, I mean, the problem with when they got rid of sockets in Warlords, it was because you had fucking every like, your gloves had 2 gems on it, and then your legs had 3. So, I mean, I think there should be more sockets in the game, just to get people who have, but they shouldn't be mandatory. Reducing dailies, weeklies, maintenance that you have to do on your characters. Well, they tried that in Warlords Draenor and people bitched because they didn't have anything to do. This is the biggest argument I have, and I want people to fucking timestamp this one, because In Mists of Pandaria, what's one thing people never complained about in Mists of Pandaria? There was stuff to do. There was always content to do. There was dailies, there was scenarios, challenge modes, everything. And then they bitched. So what the fuck are they supposed to do? Like, seriously, what did they do in Warlords? They got rid of everything. Everyone was clapping at BlizzCon, and then people quit. I literally have posts on my guild's forums of people saying, rating isn't worth my sub. There needs to be more content in the game to do. So where the fuck were you in Mists of Pandaria? Like, seriously. Maintenance, yeah, I mean, I think weekly quests are good. There was the weekly quests in Wrath where you kill a raid boss and get some frost badges. So I'm okay. Like, maintenance, I understand, like the conduit stuff and like other things should be reduced, but you kind of need to have some goals to do every day and also goals to do every week that you can save up, like Valor capping or a weekly raid quest or a weekly Mythic Plus quest. I like those, like the weekly, hey, clear mythic dungeons and you get a piece of loot. That's great because people can catch up. BOE should be the same level as previous tiers mythic eye level. Obviously no socket tertiary procs. I mean, once again, this is going to be a gold issue now because now you're going to be people wanting to sell BOEs or at least catch up on BOEs. So I'm going to have to, I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. Cross server, cross faction rating, mythic plus PvP. Okay, we're going to spend a few minutes on this one. At this stage in time, and this is one thing that I always argue with my own brother about, nobody really gives a fuck about factions anymore. People stopped caring about that probably in Mists of Pandaria. And the reason why is this. If people gave a shit about being Alliance, why the fuck did they switch to Horde in Mists of Pandaria? I mean, that's one thing you can look. You can look at all the top-end guilds switching to Horde. Obviously, it's for PvE reasons, but nobody gives a shit anymore. Even Ian Hazzakostas said that there was developers in his own game that were only playing Horde just so they can raid. Nobody gives a shit anymore, guys. Nobody gives a shit. You can have war mode on, do what you want. It's 2021. All that shit is over. It's fucking over. You want to fight other players? Fight them on the world. But let's let Worgen play with goblins. Let orcs play with humans in raids. Nobody gives a fucking shit anymore. I do think that Battlegrounds should be Alliance versus Horde as a priority. But if they can't get enough players, just mix and match, right? Like, do your best in the random matchmaking to get a good amount of Alliance players versus a good amount of Horde players. That's okay. But if you can't do it, let people. This is just another way to get more people to play. Because personally, I like playing orcs and I like playing Horde only because of the population. But pretty much every other race I would want to play is Alliance. I want to play Draenei. I want to play Worgen, that kind of stuff. So if they do this, I would actually probably have my Night Elf Demon Hunter, my Draenei Paladin, and my Worgen Rogue, and maybe an Orc Death Knight or something like that. Those would be my classes I would play. And then people, maybe that would balance out the servers a little bit more, right? Like people on Horde-dominated servers would actually switch to Alliance and stuff like that. Content doesn't need to give you character power. Why not? Why not? Everything, I mean, rating, it should give you character power. I mean, I love the artifact system where it's like, okay, if I do my dailies, my character gets powerful. Putting time into the game should make you more powerful. So I disagree. Gear that drops from certain activity should be stronger in that activity. Yes, absolutely. Like, it's kind of hard. And I think the best way to do it is with like trinkets, for instance. Like, let's say Mythic Plus trinkets are more about having more crowd control stuff, and like raiding trinkets should have more like flat damage increases, like, or flat healing increases, or something special with to make to blast through a raid boss or to do something cool within a raid or something like that. So yeah, I agree. Gold should be something you spend on fun and not a grind for character power. Maybe BOEs, but with item level of previous tier. Yes, but then again, part of the WoW economy is going out and farming gold so you can buy mats or pay someone to make you. Like, I remember one time I farmed my ass off for the mats to make a Titan Steel Destroyer mace in Wrath of the Lich King. And it felt good that I saved up and spent it. So I kind of disagree with this one. Part of the WoW economy, part of it feeling like a real world, is making it feel like a real world and making it feel like I'm actually working hard to get this. Legendary items should feel legendary. Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the way they did legendaries in, let's say, Wrath, where they would be a long grind to get, and they were specific to a certain class type, like Shadowmourne, and then the mace from Ulduar, the daggers from Dragon Soul. They should be like more like every class should get their hands on a legendary at least halfway through an expansion. Like not every class, every type, right? Melee should get one, healer should get one, range should get one, tank should get one. Class specific designs, class spec design. Create less systems in the game that feel more important. No brainer. Work on class spec instead of external systems. Yeah, I mean, this is another thing that I was thinking about was, instead of making the game more about how to build your character's power, why don't you just build it more on having fun with your own class and facilitating more people playing with different classes, right? Like, I think it's better for a person who's like semi-hardcore player to raid on 3 different tunes than spend all of their time focusing on one tune. World events for special occasions, thumbs up. World realm for some sort of announcement, cool events being triggered by it. Yeah, I think so, because I think that it's hard for those people to get recognition, and it used to be kind of a big thing. Like, I remember when in Wrath, when someone killed the Lich King, there would be an announcement in trade saying, this guild has killed the Lich King. See, Final Fantasy boss transitions, more stuff like, no. Yeah, I mean, yeah, make it fun. Rating, heroic and mythic release at the same time. I mean, I guess so. I mean, that's really a mythic player question. Heroic loot should be barely an upgrade than the previous level mythic. Man, objectives from split runs. Well, people do split runs on their own prerogative. Remove boss mechanics from the dungeon journal. Only use it for lore loot. Why? Maybe they want people to figure it out themselves? Nah. No, I think if you want more people to play, you need to have more tools to help them succeed. Bosses should be more of a skill tactic check rather than a gear check. Yes, I agree with this one. At least back in like Wrath of the Lich King and even into Mists of Pandaria, it wasn't necessarily about how much I mean, you can outgear stuff and make it trivial. In like, I remember in Siege of Orgrimmar, like on Dark Shamans, you had enough gear, you could just beat the shit out of it. But I mean, gear should definitely be a factor. You know, I think skill and tactics on mythic level, yes, but on normal and heroic, there should be a balance. It should take the player 8 to 9 clears of the raid to get full best in slot gear. Yes, I agree. And I think the way to solve that problem is with Valor points, to be able to like, and the Valor points, you should be able to buy the gear that drops from the bosses unless it's like a special legendary item or something like that, or like a mount. Only because after like 8 or 9 clears, that's like 2 months of raiding on one tune. After 2 months, if you don't have like, maybe not full best in slot gear, but like a full set of really good gear, then you're wasting your time at that point. You know, like, I mean, I have rated on my tune like, if you look at my warrior, I think I did ICC like 30 weeks in a row. That wasn't a bad thing, but I think that it was it could have been better. I could have been better suited playing other tunes and gearing those tunes up. Full cooldown reset after wipes and respawn in front of the boss. Yes. You want to know why? Because it's 2021, bro, and walking 10 minutes and resetting your cooldowns and resetting hero. Come on. That's stupid. Like, sometimes we have like those 1 minute wipes where something quickly fucks up or someone's asleep at the wheel and we just need to quickly recover. There are social penalties to not allowing us to do that. So 10-man only heroic difficulty raids in between other raids. 10-man only, I'm not like, what about people that want to do those heroics like with a lot of people, right? Like I understand, like you can do 10 man only if you want, you know, why set the limit at 10? Doesn't make any sense. Scale down function of old content. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there should be, I mean, they already do time walking, but I think that there should be a way where you just go to a battle master or something and say, okay, set me at Miss Pandaria scale, and then let me go into Throne of Thunder with my group, and then take 10 people and do 10-man heroic Throne of Thunder. That would be cool. I think that would do a lot of good, and I think they can do it. Valor Point should take less time to farm. Yep, absolutely. Eye level should have slightly less importance. Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so. Be strict about punishment for harassment, flame, making fun of people. I mean, yeah. I mean, but what are you really going to do? I mean, you ban someone for 3 days, then what? You ban them for a month, and then what? Like, sometimes, you know, it is what it is. Just block them. Add new player icons. Let's reduce the... I'm torn on this one. Only because... I just don't see pegging. So, I mean, it's like you drive down the street and you see student driver. You don't think there's going to be stuff going on there. I don't know if that's a great idea. Housing, guild player housing. Okay, we're going to go on this one and we're going to close out with this one. Video's gone long enough. Guild housing, I think, is a good idea. Because then that would incentivize people to play in a guild, but also make it like a community thing too. Because I know cross-realm communities are a thing. And the only thing the guild housing would do is just, you know, maybe you can customize what trophies you have. Like, let's say your guild did cutting edge garrosh or cutting edge black hand. You can have black hand's, you know, jaw on your guys' shelf, right? And then you can pick like just little things, right, to make your guild. Maybe your guild likes bars, or maybe your guild likes to play games and put pool tables up, or card games or something like that, right? That would be cool. Player housing, I think, can be done, but I think the player housing would have to be like, you get one player house, it's account bound, because people have so many tunes, it would be hard for the game to have like 11 billion houses, customizable houses. I think they had that issue with garrisons. That's why they weren't as customizable. But I would definitely say if they did do player housing, make it account bound, like you got one house. And maybe have its own like zone or area of a zone. Like just go, okay, like we're building this new community and this is where your house is going to be. But guild housing, I definitely agree with. It would definitely incentivize people to play in guilds and make it more of like a tavern feel or something like that. So overall, I found some disagreements with this list. I found some agreements with this list. I think what it all boils down to is getting people into raiding as fast as you can, making it about playing the game itself with your class as opposed to systems and other grinds, that kind of thing. So I definitely think that we're on that same page in that aspect. Some of the other little minute details I don't disagree with, but let's face it. Here's the problem with World of Warcraft. We need to get people into the best parts of the game as quickly as possible with as little maintenance as possible. And any way that can be done, I'm for it. So hopefully Blizzard learns from stuff like this coming out, and hopefully more people continue to make their own reaction videos on this. And let me know what you guys think. Please like, comment, and subscribe.